So hey, I'm going to show you how to remove a door handle on a C4 Corvette. Mine's a 89. And the first thing you're going to need to do, first thing I might recommend too, is you might want to put some tape in here so when this pops out you're not scratching this up. Although I'm removing it to paint the door, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to sand it all down. Obviously you have to remove the door panel first. There's a couple other good videos on how to do that. So I didn't make one, but it's really easy. There's just a bunch of Phillips head screws down here. One Phillips head screw here. You need to pop the the plastic locking mechanism off of this, and there's two screws here. One here behind the handle, and then the door panel will just lift up and come off, and then you just have to disconnect these three, well kind of four, because there's little one wiring harnesses. And then when I did mine, I had the weather strip off. I'm not sure if you can do it with the weather strip still on or not, but if you want to see how to take that off, I have another video how to do that as well. You might be able to try it with the weather strip still on. You might be able to do it. There might be enough room, I'm not sure. First thing you gotta do is get it to about a height here. You need to get it the perfect height so that the bolt in here that's holding the window in lines up with this hole. And then there's two other ones on this side here and here. They're 10mm. And you're gonna have to remove those three bolts. And then especially with this one, be careful not to drop it down into the door. It will just barely fit through this hole. And you just have to like push the window that way to make sure those screws clear the things they go in, and then you can slide it over that way. If you want to fully remove the window, you have to remove this stuff and then take that thing off there also. But now you can get much easier access to these two bolts that hold the door handle on. And then I removed this thing from here. It's just a 10mm bolt. It pushes on the window just to make a little bit more room. And then the bolts in here, they're these weird ass bolts like to hold the hood emblem on. They're 11mm, and you're gonna need a deep socket since they're like kind of back inside there. And careful not to drop the bolts down in there. Make sure you have a long magnet, because you probably will drop them down in there, and they're a bit of a pain to get out. But you kind of have to push on the ratchet that way while you're doing it. Next you're gonna have to remove this clip, and you just take a screwdriver and you pop it so it moves up like that, and then this will just slide out. And then there's another one of those things right here. There we go. And you just pop this out. And then basically holding that wire on, and the other part, there's like a little circlip right here that if this pick maybe can just pull it off. And here's what the clip looks like. There goes that part. Might be able to just stick a screwdriver in here and pry it out. It looks like it's coming out that way. If you just stick a screwdriver in and then pry, now so I don't drop it, and the magnet can't get that out, it's plastic. And there we go. Door handle is completely removed. Right, so to get the handle back in, you're gonna pull the handle up all the way first, so this thing goes down and you can get it in that slot there. And the first thing you need to do is connect this, put this little metal thing that's attached to the wire. Oh yeah, and I had this up. Remember to keep this tape down, it'll make getting in there a lot easier. It was kind of hard to tighten it all the way with the opening a wrench because of the angle. But if you can get an extension just about this long. So remember, this plastic thing goes on first, and then take a look at it to see how it fits. Or this part goes in the bottom, sorry, that divot thing. So you're gonna orient the plastic thing so the wire part is sticking upwards. It's probably easiest to get it in line with your finger. You can take a big flathead, push it on, and just move it around until you get those two things on the sides where they need to be. And now there's going to be that metal thing on the locking mechanism. So the easiest way to do it actually is take a magnet. It'll grab onto it and then you can pull it up like that. Now just take your screwdriver and you're just going to have to move it around until it slides on like that. And make sure it's back enough so that little divot shows where you can get the circlip on. And getting the circlip on is probably going to be the hardest part. I'm going to feed it in there first by attaching it to this magnet. I've got it facing down. Hopefully I can just push on it with a screwdriver and get it in place. Well, you can't really see it behind this, but the hole of the thing that went through that slit, you have to get that metal thing right here to go through it. And remember, we gotta put this plastic thing back around it. And if you want to, that metal rod thing will just pull out. I found it out by accident. It might be easier to pull it out to get the plastic thing. There's just this black thing sticking out. You see like a hole in it. And it just falls in place right there. Right there, that's where it goes. Oops. Okay, so remember on this thing, there's gonna be a hole in there. And you need to take this plastic thing and stick this through the hole. And then this part here is what that metal thing, you're gonna put this part on top, and then it'll go down and snap into place. And then the metal rod thingy will snap into there. And I'm gonna try holding it with a pair of needle nose like this. Probably just push it on, or at least to get it in place. That metal wire is back. You're just going to take the end of the rod, slide it right through. Move that plastic thing down and then just snap it over. And good idea to double check the locking mechanism first too before you go putting the door panel back on, putting everything back together.